Yeah,
Missing something?
well, it just,
You don't have a pen? Josette, you got an extra pen on it?
No.
My ink is running out. Thank you. Oh. See that move?
All right, I'm going to call the regular board meeting to order. We will not be discussing the workshop budget aspect. So I guess I'd like to have everybody stand and pledge Al, allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, would anybody like to speak this evening from the public? No? Okay. So we'll move right into board business. And the first thing up is a resolution to approve claims and warrants. Or I apologize, the minutes of February 9th meeting. Anybody have any questions? Changes?
None.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion in a second to approve the village board meeting minutes of February 9th.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
I abstain.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have the village board meeting minutes for the board meeting on the 23rd. Any changes, deletions, corrections, additions? No?
I do.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion in a second to accept the meeting minutes as written for February 23rd. then.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy? Mayor Cahill?
Abstain.
Motion passes.
Fixed it, Jerry. Fixed it. All right, next we have a resolution to claim, or to approve the claims and warrants. Review the bills this week, Josette?
Not aye.
And aye.
You guys all set?
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion in a second to approve the claims and warrants then.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have an intermunicipal agreement between the town and the village. It's regarding the use of equipment. This is a pretty standard, we do this, is it every year or every couple of years we do this?
we were trying to get it to 5 years, and I think we did it 1 year without any date on the end of it. And that got confusing with one we were supposed to do it again, which I thought wasn't ever again. Since there's no end date, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that thing, but,
What should,
What's the duration
I
of this
think
one?
5 years this one should be. I'm just trying to dig down through there.
that is,
And there was one question in regards to number 5.
Yeah, this goes to 21,
yeah.
Yeah,
2021.
and there was a question in regards to the parentheses, what was in the parentheses of number 5.
Thank you, Kate.
And I think that was a typo, so we'll approve it. I guess if we would approve it with the changes, I'll make sure that in the copy that goes over there, that's included.
Okay.
So we're gonna put the parentheses also in number 4 or something like that?
Yeah, including any claim, in 5A, I think it's going to continue, what's in the parentheses in 5B, where it says including any claim
Yeah.
damages to real or personal property, that'll go up into 5A in the same spot.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
'Cause I had a question on how we were the only
Yeah, I think it was,
entity with that.
I don't ever recall a discussion on a change, and I think it just somehow got a copy and paste or a typo thing.
Thank you.
So did you talk to Joe about the duration of this to 17 to 21?
Yes, yep,
Are okay with that?
yeah.
All right.
Okay,
It is fine.
Anybody have any other questions? All right, so I'll entertain a motion in a second to approve and allow the mayor to sign the intermunicipal agreement between the village of Webster and the town of Webster
I'll make that motion.
with the noted changes.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
All right.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have up is a resolution to establish a capital reserve account for reserves, buildings, real property improvements, and/or well decommissioning. Questions? No questions? I'll entertain a motion in a second to pass this resolution to establish a reserve account.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, next we have a resolution regarding North Avenue Connector Project for the implementation funding in the first instance, and then you got 100% of the federal aid and state or Shelley program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds.
Basically, in summary, real quick, this is the next phase of the project, and the board will have to do this one more time, and I think for the remainder, you can do it in other sections. This is, since it's a reimbursement, you gotta show that you have the money to pay for all the bills up front, and then you submit for reimbursement, so.
Did you take money out of your account?
I
Put
do,
it in there?
yeah, I mean, that's only,
We're all set, right?
that's just what I got in interest last month.
There you go.
Yeah.
But this is, and it's clarified in the last one, Don wanted me to add that, that this it replaces the one that was done on the, actually, I don't see that copy in here, so this might be the, this is telecommunications tower. Let me just look, because it should have a, you see a paragraph in there, February 12th, 2014.
Nope.
Okay.
So we got the wrong,
Here's the
got the
correct
wrong
one.
one.
Yeah, this went in after, this includes, it adds that paragraph that this, clarifies that this replaces the one that was done February 12th. That was a late change.
All right, let's pass this around, because we don't have the correct resolution in the packet.
When did that go around? Okay.
I think I sent that. That was one I was waiting for Don and Chris's input on for the account numbers.
Yeah?
So that was one that I think I just sent that out on Friday, later on Friday, so. So then I finally hooked up with Chris and said, hey, this is the number I'm gonna put in there.
So that's the one we're going to.
That's the only thing that's missing,
All
right?
right, we're going to vote on that.
February 12th.
Which one is it?
I
All right.
It just adds another paragraph down on the end here.
Yeah, one paragraph.
For February 12th date.
Right.
And there's no differences, that's it.
Yeah. Got it? Okay.
And and that is, the only thing it's clarified too is that
Right.
resolve line, the sum of, this one at 24,000 appropriated from the that was transferred from reserves, so I changed it to the North Ave Connector project. It should be like an 03, it ends in 430, 0395, something. It's the second paragraph from the bottom, and that's this total sum of 120s in there.
512-430.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion in a second to approve this resolution.
Make the motion.
I'll second
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
it. Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Jake, is this the only copy you have?
I think it's the only one I
All
have
right,
right
make
now.
sure, yeah, just make sure Josette has the right copy.
Yep.
Just get that to her, please. Throw the other one out so we get the proper one filed. Thank you, sir. All right, next we have a resolution to establish a capital reserve fund to finance the reconstruction of Donovan Street.
Yep.
Any questions?
How long is that? How long do you plan
to 5 years, you put money away in it every year for the next 3 or 4 years.
Now, it doesn't have to just come out of there. In other words, to fund $400,000 for each one of those, or $500,000 for each one of those over the next 3 years would be probably impossible.
Well, 5 years.
I'm just saying, so,
Well, that would be my recommendation. What you guys ultimately decide to do is up to you, but I wouldn't recommend borrowing money to do this because, you know, you could stretch this out even to 6 years, given the money you'll have in the budget the next few years. So that would be my recommendation rather
Can
than
it last
borrowing
6
money.
years?
Yeah, well,
Well,
yeah.
I thought it was
I'm
in
pretty
bad
sure.
shape.
But you're gonna have to establish a reserve account anyways. You ultimately decide to borrow money, at least you'll have some money
Right.
in a reserve account, all right?
Yeah,
So
no,
it's a
that's-
responsible thing to do, is
10
to
years,
establish a reserve
9
account.
years, 10 years, and all, I think that's too much.
Well, that's been on the books, Donovan Street, for how many years now?
No.
That was engineered,
I know.
the drawings were engineered back in 2009, weren't they?
2008, I believe we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
The line, then we did the water line.
Right.
We were talking about the light
Sure.
industrial park there.
Yeah.
So we held off on doing it because of the park, then it took us 4.5 years to finally get the railroad tracks moved, then we
Yep.
forced them to do a $200,000 railroad crossing.
But this just establishes the account, it's there, you put money in it, you know? And the drawings have already been done, I mean, you'll have to have them updated, and who did those, Passero? or-
Yeah, that's right.
Passero, right. So just run it by them again. We talked about it, I think, last year a little bit. And, you know, obviously they'd have to, you know, review them for a nominal amount of money, and then you go forward, so. And it's the same with reconstruction of Commercial Street. That needs, those 2 streets really need to be completely redone. And that's, you know, so we have the account, you guys have the accounts for that, so. Any questions? Any other questions on this? All right, well, I'll entertain a motion in a second to establish a capital reserve fund to finance the reconstruction of Donovan Street.
Do we have to indicate the term now?
No. Who smells like cigars? You smoke cigars?
I don't smoke, but
Really? You smoking cigars? I smell cigars for some reason. So is that you been smoking cigars? Again?
she raised her hand. I mean, I smell like the outdoors, but been shoveling all day, but I don't smell.
Okay?
Smell waffles.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Belkane,
Aye.
trustee Byers, trustee Ippolito,
Aye.
trustee Lancy,
Aye.
Mayor Cahill,
All right.
motion passes.
All right, next we have the resolution to establish a capital reserve fund to finance the reconstruction of Commercial Street.
Same thing.
Same thing? Yep. Entertain a motion in a second if nobody has any questions. There it is again.
That's all that stuff with that.
I don't know. I got a motion in a second for this reserve account.
Here.
Maybe it's a carpet. That, you know what? Let me see.
I got
Coffee,
peppermint creamer in it.
That's what it is.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
It's
It
peppermint.
smells like a Swisher sweet pepper.
Yeah, peppermint creamer. No, it's the best way to go.
Yeah, good coffee.
is there a motion and a second?
Do I have a motion in a second?
I think, yeah.
Al, did you make a motion?
I will though.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Trustee Belkane,
Aye.
trustee Lancy,
Aye.
trustee Ippolito,
Aye.
trustee Byers, Mayor Cahill,
All right.
motion passes.
Jake, you're down tonight because you're sitting in a seat. Do you have anything for us?
I have nothing.
All right. Attaboy.
No, he's waiting his turn.
Common overtime report.
I have not reviewed that yet, but there's,
You haven't reviewed the comp and overtime report?
no, I have not. I'm
Hey.
sorry.
You gotta appreciate his honesty.
We
You
got
wanna-
winds blowing and then I got
Oh.
glass and snow,
Okay.
so I haven't
All
done
right,
it
your
yet.
electricity was out.
Yes,
Oh
yeah,
my
so,
gosh, yeah.
You had electricity on like, in what, Thursday or Friday?
no, I think it's Saturday.
Saturday
Saturday?
night. Saturday night.
I didn't get on mine till Sunday at like 8:45.
I know, I talked with the
I
guy.
figured you had something to do.
Can you extend it till Monday if you can?
Yeah. And like the chance track, always first to go off and last to come on.
Baker Street goes
We've
on.
very rarely, knock on wood, very rarely lose it, and I hadn't started the
Yeah.
generator in about,
That's what you get for
10
having
years.
electric in the backyard.
Well, when Paul started his, I was talking to him because I said, well, you guys can come over to my house. Started, it died.
oh,
He ended up having to go out and buy another one and everything, yes.
we're lucky you
What
found
day?
it.
Yes, he
We
found
lost it,
one.
what, Wednesday afternoon, right?
Yeah,
Wednesday, like.
Yeah.
So, you know, the pumpkin house next to my house, there's 3 probably 50-foot pine trees in the backyard. And the one in the middle is like going like this, right? So we don't have any TV, we got no internet, you know, so we're in the living room and that's our entertainment. We're just watching this tree, you know, going. I get out, I go outside, I look, the root ball's coming right up.
Yep.
Now it's leaning on the other tree, and if the wind comes out of the south a little bit,
it's gonna,
it's going right on the line.
Oh, well, especially with a foot of snow on it.
well, now it's gonna have this heavy snow.
That's what the.
Yeah, it came over, but it's leaning on the other tree now.
that's what
But
all
if a
these-
wind comes this way or that way, that tree's going down.
you know, the
Because the
RCD
root ball's all
trucks, see,
exposed and the
Yeah,
roots are
there's
all
still a ton of
snapped.
them around here.
There was just, when we were coming to the meeting here, there was like 5 turned down Dunning Avenue, another. and
Well,
I
that's-
stopped
yeah,
and
Yeah,
asked-
there were 3, they're out.
From
front.
Quebec.
Yeah, in front of your house, Jake. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're surveying the line, the
Yeah.
circuits, and getting on the RG&E did great about the communications, every 3:30
Yes.
every day, they had
Yeah.
the meeting, they
Yeah.
called in on, and that was one of the last things they do, once they get everything back, they kind of go back through and survey all the circuits and see, you know, they didn't do the best repairs at the time when they were doing emergency repairs, but they said they want to go back and double check them.
They wanna
And
ban,
then
yeah,
check for other issues that might, make it better than it was before the storm, so. Yeah, that's why I stopped the one guy and asked, "Man, you guys just surveying the circuit?" He goes, "Yeah." So, all right, cool. So, unless he just wanted me to get away from him, that's what he said.
Cool.
Yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
I just want to make mention that, as I did today, I called in today to talk to Bob. You guys did a phenomenal job getting all the trees cleaned up and the branches and all that. The thing that stuck out was, normally they don't pick up pieces like this big, but they had the backhoe out there and they picked up everything and they were moving their tails,
Yeah.
right, in advance of this snowstorm.
Yep.
So I just called up and I just, I kind of bragged about your boys and what a great job they're doing in RG&E and the guys from Quebec, because they did a phenomenal job. So I got a call from Mike from the Goodie Store, and he was just so happy and commended the guys that were down there cleaning. He goes, "Johnny," he goes, "I couldn't believe it. The tree fell right between the 2 buildings."
yes.
He goes, "I made a phone call," and he's like, "I don't think it was maybe an hour or whatever." He goes, "I couldn't believe that these guys came down there that fast. They are so polite. They cleaned everything up. They did a phenomenal job, and now the root ball's gone."
Yeah, we were, in fairness, we went there to save the cakes, but.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I heard. I heard that a cake, some slices were passed around.
Or
I
I
heard
missed
that.
that.
No, there were.
No, we
Yeah, yeah.
offered to save the cake,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they said they were already gone.
Well, they knew you were on a diet, so they, you didn't get the
Probably
invite,
gonna get
so.
sea salt caramels for.
There you go.
You know what I love? The dark chocolates with the coconut in them.
Yes.
I've got a box right in front of my truck. I probably shouldn't spread it around, because you know who.
We should have brought them in.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, should have brought them in.
Yeah. So great job on that, Jake, and I talked to the guys this afternoon and told them also, but, make sure you mention to Jimmy and those guys too.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah.
They were really working to get it done ahead of the snow.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job doing that too. So the only question I had on the comp and overtime report was the 10 hours that John Carnabelli worked. So when you find that out, just let me know.
Yep, all right. Yeah, I believe that's related to the digester stuff there, but I'll double check.
Yeah.
I only lost about, 3 trees down there?
Yeah.
About 12.
Oh,
A lot,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the village, we lost 3.
Well, I mean,
was
at
about-
SPP, I only saw maybe 3 or 4
Yeah,
there.
they said there was about 12 down altogether.
Okay, must have been in
Back.
through
Back,
that.
Yeah, back corner. Pine trees, but they started getting some of that cleaned up, but obviously they shifted today. We'll be back at it.
As long as we keep a good line there.
Yeah, we were talking about some of them along Webster Road fell, so we were talking about perhaps bringing up the fence again.
Well, and the ones you planted are all dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of fill right there, so even with water in them, and as dry as it was, it just didn't, the evergreens or those arborvitaes are so.
Aren't those warranted, those trees?
What's that?
Aren't they warranted?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Check.
Okay.
I know Bricolos, when they plant trees, they warranty them for a year.
Yeah.
Every tree they sell is warranted for a year. Food for thought, future
Yeah.
reference, whatever. That's what I didn't want to do. Okay, next we have a resolution for the authorization of the bid for the cell towers. Everybody read the email Jake sent?
Yes, sir.
Fred Nutt came in low.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions?
Do you have any research into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year?
Just wondering if we did any research on Fred, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
Fred, yeah, they've been around, they've been in the tower business for years, and Don.
5 years?
Yeah, Fred, the old man, he's the first one I ever heard of climbing something. He climbed the bottom wall over 1,000 feet. I don't think he's gonna be on this job, but his grandson.
He's a World Book, Guinness World Book of Records, isn't he?
I don't know, but
He's on Union Hill, right?
yeah, right on that.
Yeah, he's on wall
right
4.
over there. Yeah, Don Carpenter,
Yeah.
he says you're good, he likes, that's what they do.
Who did we used to meet when Daryl and you and I went? Was that his son we met with?
Well, his grandson, I think.
Grandson?
Fred's- Yeah, Lowell. There's Lowell and Lyle,
Nice guy.
they're out there that kind of run it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's nice that they're close, and
Yeah.
localization, I think. With
Local
this-
company, which is nice.
Yeah, with this rebid, it was about 35 grand less than the lowest, next lowest one last time, so that was real nice too.
Yeah.
so.
All right, if there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion, a second, authorize the mayor to sign this contract.
I'll make that motion.
I think, since I'm done tonight, I think the motion's got to be to award the.
To award the bid to Fred Nutt Corporation
Yes.
of the amount being $222,750.
22.
Who was the second?
I did.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
It's not a motion. Aye.
Mayor Cahill?
All right.
Motion passes.
Only announcement that I have is that the Brittany Woods Development representatives will be here on Tuesday, the 21st. We'll be holding an open house from 5 till 8 p.m. Can you see that for a second?
4:30 to 8.
Yeah, they told me 5 to 8, Joe, that.
I think they got the room from 5 to 4:30.
5 to 8.
I think it's like 5 or 5.
5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So the flyers that were distributed by the Webster Citizens Action League to all the townhouses in Heartland Estates, it was stated the March 19th meeting has been changed to March 14th after the 7 p.m. workshop meeting. This is a copy of the flyers that were put on everyone's doors. Most of the people over there are elderly. Josette received a couple of phone calls from very upset residents regarding this. So I want this to be put into the record and the notes made that I personally condemn this flyer being distributed to elderly residents in the village of Webster by the Webster Citizens Action League. I personally spoke to a number of people over there to inform them that this was not true. Any other business this evening? If there's none, I will entertain a motion in a second to close the meeting.
I'll make it.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane? Trustee Byers?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.